What's going on, guys?
Hey, Coach, I would be like to congratulate you on your win.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll go ahead and I will record this, then we will get started.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. All right, we'll start with Gerald. We're going to take the first question.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach, congratulations on the victory today. Talk about it. Made it another interesting game. In fact, all of y'all wins have been by one possession. Just recap the game a little bit for us.
We find a way to make it interesting. Just sloppy win, but excited to get it. I think that we made some plays down the stretch to win the football game, and easily the game could have been. We could have put the game. We could have won by more than maybe we won this evening. Excuse me. But excited for the win. It's great to be able to learn from wins as opposed to having to learn from mistakes. But we got to play better if we're looking to finish this season strong. But excited for what some guys did. But a little disappointed on some other things that may have happened tonight. But again, it's going on the road. Another team having a senior night where they were going to play some inspired football, and we were able to make one or two more plays than they were able to make.
Keith?
It's. I guess that kind of goes with the talent of RJ. When I'm looking at his stats, he went 20 for 24, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then he ran one in. And then you think about it, man. You think about it. You're excited for his play. You're excited. He ultimately led us to a win, but then there's so much room to improve. I obviously get a chance to go when the offense is on the field. And I'm on the headset, and Coach Burris is calling plays, and there's some times when we're excited with some of the things that he does, and then there's some times you may miss a read, or you may miss a throw, and so you're seeing the growth. You're excited for the growth, but this just kind of tells you the limit for him. The sky is the limit for this young man. If he could just continue to put it all together and just make the plays when he can, but you look at what he did tonight, and you just still see there's so many other things you're hoping that he does. But you got to take what he's doing, and you got to be excited with what he's doing. And again, every game he gains more experience, right? This is his first year as a starting quarterback at the college level. He made a big time throw to Wilcher early in the game. Big time throwing catch, on that third down right there, with to give us a first down, and again, I'm excited for what he can do, and but he's just got to continue to improve and continue to take his coaching. Coach Burris works his tail off for him and with him, and but again, you look at the stats, it looks like he was flawless, but he, there are a lot of things we could take from this game and continue to build on.
St. Clair?
Coach, you look at, as we're talking about your quarterback, the last 2 games, the obvious improvements in his play. Talk about how timely this is, considering the next assignment for you guys, to have a man on the center who can really direct the offense.
Well, it's important anywhere, no matter who we're playing next week or next couple weeks, or it's important just to be able to have confidence in the guy who's going to throw the football to you. Obviously, would still love to, looking at some of the, the goals that we set up for ourselves offensively and some of the goals we set for ourselves defensively. Not being able to get over that 100-yard mark, 150-yard mark rushing the football. That means now we have to throw the ball a heck of a lot more, right? And that's not something that we always want to do with RJ, but we were able to do it, be able to have some success. The receivers made some great catches. We were able to finish, some of the plays, but obviously us being able to run the football, it makes everything a lot easier for RJ. So, they tried to limit our possessions the second half. They came out there with some, double tight ends, and I think in the third quarter there was only 3 actual possessions, and so they tried to slow us down. So we talked, just as a staff and as a football team, we gotta value every play. We gotta value every possession in the second half, and we did so. I think, again, I don't want to seem negative after a win, but we did some good things, and then we did some things that that could cost you some games. But fortunately, that didn't happen tonight.
Taylor, you have a question?
Well, I mean, there was the penalty, and I'm gonna have to get confirmation on this, but the penalty was, you thought the penalty was unnecessary roughness on the targeting call because of targeting. So then they come back and said that it wasn't targeting, but it was still unnecessary roughness. So I'm just maybe I don't know the rule, but I mean then it came back that the penalty might have been a taunting penalty. So still getting clearance. The referees weren't very happy with me tonight, as I wasn't very happy with them. So I didn't get a very good explanation. And they, and I don't know whatever explanation they were about to give me. I don't think I would listen to it anyway.
Gerald, you have another question?
Yeah, Coach, can you talk about defensive wise? I know coming into the day, Alabama A&M was one of the bottom teams in the SWAC just with offensive production, but it seemed like they was able to kind of move the ball, and that what really made it interesting. At the end of the day, quarterback Luke Poise, and of course you had the 80-yard rush by the running back, and they said on the broadcast he was their first single game 100-yard rush on the season. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Guy rushed for 142 with one of them being 80 yards, man. That's we overran it. They came out. They were a base, what we call an 11 personnel team, and then they come out there and do some 12 stuff to us. But they have success running the football. And those are things that obviously if you want to be a good defense, you got to stop the run. And we unfortunately we weren't able to do that. And then you get an 80-yard touchdown run on you, and then linebackers and D linemen aren't necessarily trusting each other like they're supposed to, and not trusting each other, they're going to do their job. So I mean, they did some different things, did some good things, but for the most part, man, it boils down to us doing what we need to do, and we were able to get it done at the end of the game. I thought we did some good things early, but just overall, man, defensively, we got to just be better and make plays when we can.
Another question, me, Coach. I know we talked about RJ a little bit, but him and Kanari Wilcher connected for 2 touchdowns today. Talk about that connection a little bit, and those guys that big time plays have really been y'all friend this year.
Well, I think the biggest thing has been is that, right? I mean, we have so many talented receivers that that you're going to have receivers open. And I think that's the biggest thing for us right now. As we get through the season and continue to go through the season, RJ is finding those guys, right? We all saw some of the stuff early in the year. We were having some guys wide open and we weren't getting the balls to them. So that's just the maturation process, for RJ. So, we Kanari Wilcher, Goldie Lawrence, Jordan Edwards, Marlon Burris, Speedy Rogers. I mean, Ace Cobb. I mean, these guys are going to get open, right? They're going to get open and they, all we got to do is hit them. All we got to do is throw it, right? Miles Campbell, so we've had guys open, and we just got to be able to throw the football and get it to them. We mentioned RJ's run, but there was a receiver wide open on that play, right? So a tight end was open on that play. So we have the skill guys to be able to spread defenses out and have the ability to score points. Sometimes just got to make the throws and allow our guys to make plays. So excited about it. Those guys. That's been something that's been brewing all year, and you saw them make plays, you saw them make throws, you saw them make catches, and hopefully we're able to continue to do that because we're going to need that for the next couple weeks. Well, I just think that we situational football. We work 2-minute drill. Every Wednesday morning. It's something that we strive on, and we always, the situation that we had this week was we wanted, they needed a field goal to win. That was a situation that we gave the defense this week. They needed a field goal to win, and unfortunately, during the week we were able to, we accomplished it. Now then we get to the game, and it's something that exactly that we worked on during the week. So it's all the guys see the success in the middle of the week, through the preparation, and reap the benefits of having to be able to be in the same situation, tonight. And we don't normally let them get down as close as they did, but we bowed up, did some good things. Guys made plays, made that quarterback have to scramble a little bit. Hell, we probably should have been calling some of them plays earlier in the game, and then we might have had to go through this mess. But the guys bowed up, did some things, covered well, and we made plays. Excited about it, but obviously, we know we're gonna have to be a hell of a lot better in about 7 days if we want to make sure we accomplish what we need to be accomplishing, especially down in Orlando next week.
Any more questions for Coach?
Well, I think you just coordinators and officials, and we have conversations, and there's always a time and a place to discuss those type of things, and I mean, hey man, I know they're human, and obviously you hate when calls go against us, you know what I'm saying, and it's always important, to go back and watch the film, I know a lot of times people aren't necessarily mad with the call, they're mad with the timing of the call, right? So I just get a chance to truly look at it and see what they saw, but I felt we might have missed a couple tonight, but I'll take a look at the film and see exactly whether I was right or whether I was wrong, and if I'm right, we'll have a conversation. If I'm wrong, I'll admit to it. But again, I thought it was a good football game. I think both sides had their work cut out for them, and that's including the officials, and they're going to call it to the best of their ability. But again, I think it's important always just make sure you go back, watch the film, see what it looks like, and just improve, right? But we'll do it. Alabama A&M will do it, and hopefully, officials will do it as well.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, man. That's all you need.
Yes, sir.